Okay, we're working on page 1 of Module 7, Lesson 3. We had just finished this one. I think part of the writing got cut off here because it's rate of change or slope or average rate of change or constant rate of change. It needs a label of y per x. So as the video was ending, we saw that y is dollars per x is years. So it should be dollars per year. And so that leaves it at negative $1,750 per year. And at the end of this, on the bottom one on C, we're going to write a sentence about it. But that just means the car's value is decreasing. Remember, we don't say the negative when we write a sentence. The car's value is decreasing by $1,750 per year. So we'll write that down here where we have more room because there's a little bit more room. Okay, so let's see if what we hypothesized about is true. So we're going to do slope 2 more times. So this is 1 year, this is 7 years, this is 3 years, this is 12. I just copied them from the table while the camera was off so I wouldn't have to keep sliding the paper. So using the formula, we have second y 15,750 minus the first y 26,250 over the second x7 minus the first x1, and that comes out to be 15,750 minus 26,250, negative 10,500 over 6. So with that still in our calculator, we can hit divide by 6. Boom, there it is again. No big surprise, since we know the slope does not change on a straight line. Well, all lines are straight. So slope is going to be constant on every line. The line doesn't get steeper because there's no bends or elbows or anything. And so everything's going to be the same. Different numbers, same result. So it's still negative 1750 per year. And that's just because we just picked 2 other points on the same line. Okay, and the third one, as we can probably guess, it's going to be the same answer, but let's play the game. So this is year 3, this is year 12. So 7,000 minus 22,750 over the second x12 minus the first x3. This looks like negative 15,750, but I better check. Minus 22,750. Oh, so negative 1,507. Negative $15,750 over 9. So divide that by 9 and boom, there it is again. Our hypothesis is proven. So negative 1750 per year. So let's just end this page by writing a sentence about these 3, which I just spoke about. So the car's value is decreasing. So we don't say the negative, we say decreasing instead by $1,750 per year. Value is decreasing by $1,750 per year. There we go. So that just kind of lets the reader know that you're not just doing mindless math and finding numbers, you're understanding what each of those numbers mean. And that's why we so often have you write full sentences on the paper pencil test. So you're not just doing mindless math, following a formula, plugging in, and having no idea what you're finding. You can actually put it into a sentence. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to page 2. think we're going to need one to look at it, so we'll leave it there. So since it looks like they're still talking about that equation, let's go ahead and write the equation at the top of the paper. So we had from the front page, B of t equals negative 1750t plus 28,000. So that's the one we came up with ourselves. So what can you say about the average rate of change between any 2 points on the line and what kind of relationship exists? So the average rate of change will be the same no matter which 2 points you pick because a line has a constant rate of change. So the average rate of change will be the same between any 2 points on a line because lines have a constant, meaning it doesn't change, rate of change. And we call that a CROC too, because we need another acronym in our life, right? It's a CROC. Okay, so write the relationship in the form. Oh, okay. I remember I added this in because I thought, why would they have us make a table without writing the equation? So that's why it's asked twice, because that's how, I mean, otherwise you would have had to go minus 1750, minus 1750, minus 17, and it's so much more algebraic to use the equation. So that was my line I added in just because I thought it made it more helpful to fill out the table. So now they're asking the same question, so we can just carry our line down from up here. And that's all we need. So I guess there's no work on that one because we already did it on the front. There wasn't any work anyway. But let's at least do y equals mx plus b just to remind ourselves where everything came from. So they're telling us y was v of t. We found the rate of change to be negative 1750. T is our new x, and then the starting point, the original value of the car was 28,000. Just a little recap from the last video. What is the slope of this function? So this is trying to get you to understand the slope's the same thing as rate of change, because some students will go, oh, I don't know what the slope is. Well, if you know slope and rate of change are the same, well, then you do. You just found it 3 times. Negative 1750 per year, negative 1750. Oh, and I just answered question number 4 down at the bottom. So it says, what is the slope? I'm going to keep this paper here because we'll be able to use this. So what is the slope of this function? So the slope is negative $1750 per year. So we won't show the work on it again. We'll just say see page 1. What is the practical meaning of slope? Explain in a complete sentence. I didn't realize that was coming up, so this is what we need to write there. So sorry to be redundant and make you write it again. So the car's value is decreasing by $1,750 per year. Okay, so now we have it written twice. Now we really won't forget it, right? Okay, what is the vertical intercept? So remember, sometimes they switch words and don't say y-intercept. So I just think, okay, here's my coordinate plane. This is the vertical one. Which one is it? Y. So then, because a lot of students like get the two mixed up, then I would say y-intercept. So instead of writing vertical intercept like they did, switch it to your language. So the vertical axis is y. So they're asking me to find the y-intercept. And remember, y-intercept is always when x is 0, or you can get your y-intercept from your equation, right? It's the starting point is a y-intercept. So a lot of students, they get all flustered on the test and they're like, oh, I can't remember if that's y or x. Well, then derive it. We know from the last module that the y-intercept means make x 0. So our x is t, right? So watch this. Make x 0, which we know from the last test. You always make that one 0, but in this case, our x is, I want to be able to show both of these, but in this case, our x is t, so make t 0. So let's say you forgot that's the y-intercept, or you weren't sure, or whatever. This is how you could find it. So we know to make x 0, which means make t 0, so b of 0 equals negative 1750 times 0 plus 28,000. So this is my x, and this is going to go away. There's my y. So when x is 0, let's go ahead and write this out so you don't go, where'd she get 28,000? So negative 1750 times 0 was 0. 0 plus 28,000 is 28,000. So when x is 0, y is 28,000. That is my y-intercept. And remember, intercepts always have to be written as points. I know there was one or something on the last test where they asked for the intercept and they only wanted the x and y. That's Alex bad. Yeah, they shouldn't do that. Teachers screech when books and programs do that. But when we're doing it by hand, always make sure it's a point. Okay, so that's a y-intercept. That's the first thing they asked about. What's the vertical intercept? And then what's the practical meaning? So what I like to do for ones like that is I look at what x and y stand for. So x is the number of years of the car, y is the value in dollars, and I write it right above. I'm gonna bring it down here. So here's 0, 28,000. And remember, that's my y-intercept or my vertical intercept. And we just looked up on the table. The x is number of years. The y is value in dollars. So I write right below this number of years, value in dollars. And when I give these on the test, I tell students, now use common sense. Don't say when the car is 0 years old. Well, what is 0 years old? 0 years old is when the car is new. Its value is $28,000. So see here how they say explain using a complete sentence. So don't say 0 years old. We don't ever say it like that. 0 years old means it's new. So when the car is new, its value, no apostrophe, right? It's possessive, but it's not it is. I don't know. That's one rule in English I need to research more. I know you use the apostrophe when it's it is, but I thought you used it when it's possessive too. So I don't know.